Hello everybody, Brettiri back again with another video, and today's video guys is going to be about to preview the semi-finals that we have ahead of us at this year's Australian Open 2022. That is just around the corner. We will be playing on Friday. Both of the men's semi-finals will be played on Friday, which will be for the first time what I know, because in the past one of the semi-finals was played on Thursday and the other one was played on Friday. I think this is the best solution. It is the most fair one for all four players involved. Yeah, guys, we all know who the four semifinalists are. Rafa Nadal versus Matteo Brettiri and Meadow versus Stefanos. Yeah, Medvedev, who just won a 4 hours and 42 minutes battle against Felix Aliassime. Man, that maybe was the match of the tournament. When it comes to intensity, when it comes to drama, when it comes to shot making, at least from Felix side, because Medvedev is not a big shot maker in my opinion. But when it comes to quality, I don't know if that was the best match of the tournament, because guys, when both players do more unforced errors than winners, you cannot call a quality match. Felix does 75 unforced errors and 64 winners. He does 11 more unforced errors than winners, and Meadow does 53 unforced errors and 49 winners. So he does 4 more unforced errors than winners. But the drama, the intensity, the shot making was for sure there. The shot making from Felix's racket, indeed, not from Medvedev's racket. Yeah, guys, what a match that was. Felix should have won that one, in my opinion. He was probably the better player. It was 2 sets to love up, was playing some clinical first 2 sets of tennis. Then, of course, he's not Rafa Nadal. He went down in his level. It is nobody who can maintain that level throughout the 5-set match. Maybe only Novak Djokovic, but nobody else. Not even Federer, because we all know Federer can play 2 good, great tennis. 2 good, great sets of tennis, and then he can disappear for 1 set or 2. And Felix also did the same. After 2 great of tennis, 2 first 2 sets of great tennis, then Felix went down his level. He started to miss more. He started to return worse. He started to serve worse, and he invited Medvedev to the dinner. And when you invite that kind of a big threat, it is like swimming around the sharks. If you are in the sea and you know that sharks are around, do you swim there? No. And that was exactly what Felix did when he did, in my opinion, pretty bad tiebreak in that 3rd set. So he invited Medvedev in that 3rd set, and Medvedev, of course, he took that chance. And then in the 4th set, they went toe-to-toe with each other, and we all know that Felix had the first match point of these two. Of course, that was in Medvedev's serve, and in that occasion I can excuse Felix, because it was nothing he could do. Honestly, he could not do anything there, because Medvedev came up with a big first serve which was unreturnable. You cannot return that kind of a big serve. It was huge serve, the hardest serve that he has hit in the entire match. So too bad for Felix. They won both 182 points each. Felix had more break point opportunities. He had 11 break point opportunities, converted only 2 of them. Medvedev had 5 break point opportunities. He converted in 3 of them. And only in the 5th set, look at this, man. Look at this, my tennis fans all around the world. Look at this. Felix has 6 break point opportunities in that 5th set. He converts in 0. 0 of them. 0. Medvedev has only 1, and he converts in that only one he has in that 5th set. He converts in that, and he wins that 5th set 6-4 after 4 hours and 42 minutes. Congratulations to Medvedev after coming through. I think that this was his 2nd ever match in his career, where he comes back from 2-0 love down. It is the 2nd ever match in his career for him to come back from 2-0 to love down. And he's through to the semifinals, Medvedev. Even though I was not deadly impressed with his level, I will be honest. I was impressed with his fighting spirit, with his fighting attitude, with his never giving up attitude. That I was really impressed with. Was I impressed with his level? No, I wasn't. Tsitsipas played the quarterfinal also yesterday, and he won his straight sets. He steamrolled Jannik Sinner. I can't believe that some of my comments, they were telling me Jannik Sinner will beat Tsitsipas. Many people around the world who knows tennis, who watches tennis, they said to me, Jannik Sinner will beat Stefanos Tsitsipas. Jannik Sinner has not won anything big. Stefanos Tsitsipas at least has won the ATP Tour finals in London 2019. What has Jannik Sinner done besides winning 250 class tournaments and winning one I believe 500 class tournament? He has not done. He has never defeated a top 5 player in his career so far. Jannik Sinner has big potential. He has time on his side. He's only 20 years old, but he's not a big match player yet. He is not. When he defeats a top 5 player in his career for the first time, then we can talk about Jannik Sinner. Before he does that, we don't talk about Jannik Sinner beating the big guys. That's why I can't believe that people was believing that, not all of them of course, but some, majority, many out there believe that Jannik Sinner would take out Stefanos Tsitsipas. I was of course not one of them. Stefanos Tsitsipas played first strike, unbelievable great tennis. His serve plus forehands was unbelievable. He dominated the match with his forehand. After he was landing his serve, doesn't matter, first or second serve, 92% of the occasions he was hitting the ball with his forehand. He was crushing that ball with the forehand. He was doing winners. Even his backhand looked really solid, which is his weaknesses, together with his return. It looked really solid. He didn't bother hanging with Jannik Sinner on cross-court back and forth, because we all know that if you take in Stefanos Tsitsipas in cross-court backhands, you can squeeze unforced errors out of this racket. But that Jannik Sinner tried to do that in some occasions, but he could never break down that backhand. He never could break down that backhand because his backhand was solid. Stefanos Tsitsipas. And Stefanos Tsitsipas was serving good, was winning a lot of points behind his first serve, 79%, was winning a lot of points behind his second serve, 60%. But that has to do with Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner's returns are horrible. I actually thought Jannik Sinner is a better returner. I have always known that he's not a great server. To be that tall of a dude that he is, he actually serves pretty weak. But he is a pretty weak returner as well. At least he wasn't in this match, because to win 60% behind your second serves, like Stefanos Tsitsipas did, that is not a good grade for Jannik Sinner. I saw the match when Stefanos Tsitsipas was using his second serve. Jannik Sinner was returning on the service. His returns were very, very short. They were landing on the middle of the court. Sometimes they were landing on service box. And you cannot return like that. Not against the top 5 players in the world. For God's sake, Stefanos Tsitsipas is world number 4. Do you think Jannik Sinner will come away with that kind of bad returns? Of course not. In the end of the day, Stefanos Tsitsipas dominated Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner was like a half-dead fish, in my opinion. All credit to Stefanos Tsitsipas, he was great, but Jannik Sinner also made him look great. Stefanos Tsitsipas was not that superior like Jannik Sinner made him look that superior. Kind of the same situation like Shapovalov against Alexander Zverev, where Shapovalov looked superior against Zverev, but that had to do a lot with Zverev's low performance he did in that 4th round match against Shapo. The same thing here. Tsitsipas looks superior, but it has to do a lot with Jannik Sinner's weak performance as well. Weak returns, weak serves. Jannik Sinner, he doesn't have any spots. He just hits his serve. He doesn't find the tee. He doesn't find the ad court. He doesn't find the angles. And even on the ground strokes, the guy doesn't do anything with the ball. Especially when it comes to the 0 to 4 shots, Jannik Sinner didn't do anything. Stefanos Tsitsipas dominated Jannik Sinner in the 0 to 4 shots. He completely dominated him. On the serve plus forehand game, Jannik Sinner didn't stand a chance against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Alright, enough about those two matches. Let's go to the semi-final preview that we have ahead of us on Friday. I'm going to start with the easy one first. And the easy one first, for me, is Rafa Nadal versus Matteo Brettiri. For me, these two semi-finals, one is easy for me, and the other one is brutal hard. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm always honest. You know how I operate. And we're going to start with the easy one. Rafa Nadal, the consistency machine. Rafa Nadal, the no mercy specialist. Rafa Nadal, the no coffee break specialist. He doesn't take any coffee breaks. He doesn't take any vacations. He doesn't celebrate Christmas on a tennis court. He is in the match from the first point to the last point. If you want to take him out, you need to take it to him. He will not beat himself. Like Team did 2 years ago in 2020 Australian Open, like Tsitsipas did 1 year ago in 2021 Australian Open, like Shapo almost did, but Shapo, we all know, he gave away that fifth set with a horrible service game in his own serve and gave away that break in the fifth set to Rafa Nadal for free and said to Rafa, here, take it. I miss Canada. I want to go to Canada before the weekend. And he said to Rafa, hey, take the serve, my serve and defeat me in the fifth set. You cannot show any mercy to Rafa Nadal. If you want to beat him, you cannot show any mercy. That is the way to beat Rafa. How do you beat Rafa? You beat Rafa with big cuts on the ball, low unforced errors stat, good returning, take time away from him, play just big tennis with big swings of the ball, both backhand and forehand, you name it. That is the one way. A la Söderling, a la Del Potro, a la Tsonga, a la Russell. That is the way how to defeat Rafa Nadal. That is the one way. The other way is like Djokovic, giving him his own medicine, like Djokovic does. Djokovic doesn't take big cuts on the ball. Djokovic doesn't crush the ball like Del Potro, Söderling, Tsonga, Russell. He just plays consistent tennis from the baseline and never resists and never surrenders and doesn't do a lot of unforced errors. He just gives Rafa Nadal his own medicine. Djokovic pushes the beast mode. He pushes the beast wall mode and says to Rafa Nadal, if you will push that button wall mode, I will do the same, my friend from Spain. I will do exactly the same. And that's why Djokovic has been so successful against Rafa Nadal, because he gives Rafa Nadal his own medicine with good baseline game, with good returns, with great backhand, and with unbelievable good shot tolerance. That is the other way to defeat Rafa Nadal. Well, we all know that Matteo Brettiri is not any Novak Djokovic. He will not beat Rafa Nadal if he does with a game plan like Djokovic, with consistency, consistent from the baseline, with great returns, with great backhand, with great shot tolerance. That is not Matteo Brettini's game plan. That is not Matteo Brettini's game style. Matteo Brettini, if he beats Nadal, which I will come up later in the video, if I believe he will do that or not, if he beats Nadal, he will do that with big serving. I forgot to say big serving. Söderling, Tsonga, Del Potro, Russell, all four of those guys, they serve big. If Matteo Brettini beats Nadal, he needs to serve big. He cannot serve like he did against Gael Monfils. In 5 sets, he did only 12 aces. He cannot serve like he did against Carlos Alcaraz. In 5 sets, he did only 11 aces. He needs to produce the same kind of a serving performance like he did against PCB in the 4th round when he did 28 aces. He needs to show up with that. That Matteo Brettini needs to show up on Friday, because if the Matteo Brettini from the Alcaraz match shows up, if the Matteo Brettini from Gael Monfils match shows up, Rafa Nadal will steamroll him. Mark my words, I have said it first here. Rafa Nadal will steamroll him. I swear that, guys. Rafa will steamroll him. If Matteo Brettini's serve isn't great on the match when he faces Nadal, he will not stand a chance. He needs to start with serving big. He needs to have 3 points so he can relax on his own returns. He needs to hold his serve with big serving, a lot of aces. So when Rafa serves, so he can take some chances on returns, chip and charge sometimes, slice sometimes, take big cuts on the ball. Just try to break Rafa's serve. Because Matteo Brettiri is such a good server. If he breaks Rafa's serve once in a set, that can be enough, as long as he protects his own serve. One key for Matteo Brettini, he needs to serve big. Then he needs to return good. Because trust me guys, Alcaraz tried, PCB tried, Gael Monfils tried. They all attacked Matteo Brettini's backhand side. They all penetrated Matteo Brettini's backhand side. But they all failed. Why? Because they don't hit the ball as precise as Rafa Nadal. Rafa Nadal is one of the most precisest tennis players I have ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a better tennis player who finds the corner better than him. I swear to you guys, I don't know. He probably is the #1 player who finds the corner best of all the players that I've ever seen in my life. And PCB, Memphis, Alcaraz, they couldn't find Matteo Brettini's backhand side many times that it was required. They tried, of course. Sometimes they found it, but many times they hit in the middle of the court. And in the middle of the court, it is easy for Matteo Brettini to go around, because they are not as good of finding the spots like Nadal is. Nadal is a total different beast. He will find Matteo Brettini's backhand corner much better than those three dudes. So for Matteo Brettini to go around and hit his forehand, it will be much harder doing that against Nadal than he has done against all the other 5 previous opponents that he has faced in this year's Australian Open. So Matteo Brettini needs to have a good backhand day. He can forget to rely only on his forehand against Nadal. He can forget that. He could that against other dudes, but not against Nadal, because Nadal will penetrate and will find that backhand. He will attack that backhand. He will break down that backhand. I am pretty convinced about that. And Matteo Brettini will not come away with a weak backhand on Friday. That is the second key. Serving big, hitting big backhands. And the third key is, of course, returning good. He needs to try to take his teeth into Rafa Nadal's serving games. Because let's face it, Rafa Nadal is not the greatest server out there. He has improved his serve for sure, but he's still not, in my opinion, top 5 best servers in the world. He's not, guys. And Matteo Brettini, he needs to return better. His returns are pretty horrible. He needs to return better, especially when Rafa uses the second serve. He needs to take 1 or 2 steps closer to the baseline and try to take that ball early and try to break Rafa Nadal's serve. Because I'm pretty convinced that Matteo Brettini will not be able to hold his serve all the time. Forget that, guys. Matteo Brettini will never hold his serve the entire match. That will never happen. I will be shocked if Rafa Nadal doesn't break Matteo Brettini's serve the entire match. So for Matteo Brettini to have a chance in this match, he needs to take his teeth into Rafa Nadal's serving games. All right. What do Nadal needs to do to win the match? Nadal, he just needs to attack the backhand. And like of course he will do. He needs to attack the backhand. He needs to penetrate that backhand. He needs to just take that backhand into the corner and just punish and hit and hit and hit until Matteo Brettini will do an unforced error or hit a ball that is short, and then Rafa will go into the court and hit inside forehands. Of course, Rafa will do that. And another key for Nadal is to try to make the rallies longer than 4 or 5 shots, because we all know that Matteo Brettini is one of the best tennis players in the world in winning in the serve plus forehand game. Together with Tsitsipas, Matteo Brettini is one of the best serve plus forehand players in the world. So when Matteo Brettini serves, Rafa Nadal's key is to try to have deep returns. So because when you return deep, it is always harder making great shots from the baseline than doing that from the middle of the court. So Rafa's key will be to penetrate his backhand and to have deep returns. So all in all, Rafa Nadal is a much better player than Matteo Brettini. This is an easy prediction for me. I think Rafa Nadal will beat Matteo Brettini in straight sets. That is my prediction, guys. Straight sets. That's it. I don't think that all the things I mentioned that it is key for Matteo Brettini to do on Friday, for him to prevail, I don't think he will do that. I just don't think so. Period. I don't think so. They have met each other once before, 1-0 to Nadal in the head-to-head. That was in US Open, semi-final 3 years ago. Rafa won in straight sets, and I think Rafa will do the same here. All right, guys, we go to the other semi-final. This is much harder for me to predict. This is much harder for me to call. This is a tough one, guys. The head-to-head is 6-2 to Dan Medvedev. Last time they faced each other was in French Open last year, which Stefanos won in straight sets. But we all know that Stefanos' best surface is clay, and Medvedev's worst surface is clay. We all remember last year, this time around, they faced each other in the semi-final, and Medvedev steamrolled Stefanos Tsitsipas with a breathtaking performance. In my opinion, that was Medvedev's best performance in the tournament. He just was in beast mode level. I don't know if I've ever seen Medvedev that good like he was in that match against Tsitsipas in last year's semi-final. He did 46 winners and only 21 unforced errors. He did 15 more. He did 25 more winners than unforced errors, guys. 25! Can you imagine that? That's what kind of a beast mode level Medvedev was in that semi-final last year against Tsitsipas. He did 17 aces and only 2 double faults. It was not much that Stefanos Tsitsipas could do. Tsitsipas, on the other hand, he didn't do a disaster match, but Medvedev never allowed him to be in the match. He never allowed him to be in the scene. He just said to Stefanos Tsitsipas from the first ball to the last ball, you have nothing to do in this match. I will be in that final on Sunday, period. 46 winners, only 21 unforced errors. 25 more winners than unforced errors. Tsitsipas, on the other hand, it was not a disaster. He did only 19 winners and 30 unforced errors. So Tsitsipas did 11 more unforced errors than winners. Tsitsipas had tremendous hard time hitting through Medvedev in that semi-final last year in Australian Open. He could not hit through him, because we all know that Medvedev is a wall. When he gets in that zone, he becomes a wall. It is impossible hitting through him. So, do I believe Medvedev will do the same kind of performance on Friday again? No, I don't think so. The signs that I've seen from Medvedev in these 5 matches that he has played here at Australian Open doesn't convince me that he will do the same kind of performance like he did 12 months ago against Tsitsipas on Friday. He will not do 25 more winners and unforced errors on Friday. He will not. He will not do only 2 double faults and 17 aces. He maybe will do 17 aces, but he will for sure do more than 2 double faults. Just look at the match against Felix. He did only 15 aces, which is okay, but in 5 sets, 15 aces, 9 double faults, and 53 unforced errors. If you play first strike tennis, if you play ultra aggressive tennis, if you play fast tennis, and take all the time away from Dan Medvedev, he is in big trouble. Exactly like Felix did. Felix almost defeated him, and he should have defeated him, considering how many chances Felix had. Felix had, for God's sakes, 11 breakpoint opportunities. So, Stefanos Tsitsipas has all the chances in the world to defeat Dan Medvedev on Friday. He has. I'm not expecting the same beast mode level Medvedev on Friday like he was 1 year ago. I just don't think. I will be surprised if the same beast mode level Medvedev shows up on Friday against Tsitsipas like he was 12 months ago against Tsitsipas in Australian Open. I will be surprised. Medvedev, it will be a weaker Medvedev Tsitsipas will face on Friday. It just will. Medvedev has not impressed on me in this year's Australian Open. Meadow was much better at the US Open 4 or 5 months ago when he won his first ever Grand Slam title and dropped only 1 set in 7 matches and took out Novak Djokovic in straight sets in the final. It is not the same kind of a level Meadow we are seeing here at the Australian Open. Yeah, he has won his matches, he has come through, he is in the semi-final, but he is looking very, very beatable. If Tsitsipas comes with the same kind of a level he has showed the last 5 sets I've seen him, the last 2 sets against Fritz, the 4th and 5th sets, which was unbelievable great tennis from Tsitsipas, big hitting, first strike, great tennis, great serve plus forehands. Then he picked up that level against Jannik Sinner. He started that level against Jannik Sinner like he ended against Fritz. The same kind of tennis against Jannik Sinner. Ultra aggressive from the baseline, attacking the net, serving big, hitting great serve plus forehands, and defeated Jannik Sinner in straight sets. Of course, Medvedev is not any Jannik Sinner. He has better backhand, not backhand. He has better returns. He has better shot tolerance. He has better serve. So Medvedev will be a bigger challenge for Stefanos Tsitsipas than what Jannik Sinner was. But one thing I'm pretty convinced. One thing I'm pretty convinced. Medvedev will never. I even am brave enough to say Medvedev will never beat Stefanos Tsitsipas in straight sets in this year's Australian Open semifinal like he did 12 months ago. He just will not do. Period. He will not do that. The keys for Tsitsipas will be his backhand needs to be steady. We all know that Medvedev last year he broke down Stefanos Tsitsipas' backhand with his cross-court backhand, and Stefanos Tsitsipas was doing a lot of errors. Stefanos Tsitsipas his backhand needs to be really good, like it was against Jannik Sinner. We saw against Jannik Sinner when Jannik Sinner started those cross-court backhands. Stefanos Tsitsipas changed the direction with down-the-line backhand beautifully. He needs to do the same against Medvedev. It is harder against Medvedev because Medvedev hits a flat ball. The ball doesn't bounce high. The match will be a night session, even cooler conditions, which is, I don't know, maybe both in advantage for Tsitsipas and in disadvantage. The advantage for Tsitsipas is the condition will be cooler. He will have more chances going around hitting his forehand because it will be slower. The Achilles heel will be the conditions will be cooler. The ball will bounce even lower. If the match would have been a day session, the ball would have bounced higher, which Stefanos Tsitsipas he prefers a higher bouncing ball so he can hit his a great forehand. Stefanos Tsitsipas needs to take the ball on the rise, exactly like he did against Sinner. He was great on taking the ball on the rise against Sinner. And he needs to do the same thing against Medvedev. He needs to take all the time away from Medvedev. He needs to avoid those long exchanges with the backhand. And when the long exchanges start, because Medvedev, we all know, he will try to attack Stefanos Tsitsipas' backhand, which is, of course, much weaker than his forehand. Stefanos Tsitsipas can hit 1 or 2 cross-court backhand. But after 1-2 cross-court backhands hitting, he needs to change it with down the line. He cannot keep on hitting cross-court because if he does that, it is suicide. Because Medvedev will never miss those cross-court backhands rallies. Stefanos will miss, not Medvedev. So Medvedev needs to avoid those cross-court backhand rallies. He needs to change direction with down the line, like he did beautifully against Sinner. He needs to do exactly against Medvedev as well. Stefanos Tsitsipas needs to serve big, because he needs his serve. He needs his serve because he's a worse returner than Medvedev. Because if Stefanos Tsitsipas gets broken, he's toast. It is not easy breaking Medvedev, because even if Medvedev leaks a lot of breakpoint opportunities to his opponent, like Felix had 11 breakpoint opportunities. Medvedev is a clutch player. He comes up with goods in big moments. Medvedev is a big match player. When he has the knife under his throat, he comes up with big serves. So Stefanos Tsitsipas needs to protect his serve. He needs to really protect his serve. He needs to hit his backhand good. He needs to protect his serve. He needs to return good. He needs to try to take his teeth into Medvedev's serving games. Because let's face it, Stefanos Tsitsipas is the underdog here. Medvedev is the favorite, but not with much in my opinion. In my opinion, Medvedev is the slight favorite here. Who will win the match? Man, this is so hard for me to call. I've thought about this the entire day. Who will win? 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 I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I will say Meadow. Oh my God. Oh, bitches, if you did, give us some subscribe and send next time. Peace.